has been watching because I already found all the stuff to spawn it in there, and I'm working on the command now. But yeah, it's inside of the actor factory asset proxy stuff. So the next thing I'll have to do is figure out how to actually capture that data and make it available for the Dashkin command to actually go get. And I could export it to disk and just read it from disk. That might be a good idea, just to actually put it in there as like a record motion sort of thing and just dump it out, because I could use that for other things if I really needed it. So maybe something that I can hit a button, it starts recording to disk, and then you can just load it in, and that way I could send it to somebody, or somebody could send it to me, or hell, you could even replay that somehow with something simple. So just dump the position. Seems good enough for me. You can tell you don't want to do signals. Yeah, exactly. Alright, so export missions didn't show up up there, so let's see. Here we go. I thought I was missing a step, and I'm missing a step. Extending the editor with Unreal works, but there's a lot of stuff that's just kind of stupid. Like, if I've already made a command which is, yeah, it's just kind of obnoxious. You'd think a UI command macro or like the register commands function would actually add the. It's just a lot of, oh, you missed that thing? Oh, well, your button's not going to work now, or whatever. I think what a lot of people do for extending the editor and adding in tools is they set up a bunch of reflection stuff, and it's like, well, you got to set all this crap up once and then just don't touch it again. And yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass. All right, I think I'm gonna make a dump file for this stuff. So let's go to our objects, and let's just make an object that we can load in and stuff like that. So let's make a new game object. It's gonna look like this. So let's do movement dump file, which will have a list of positions. So I'll have a movement dump file, and we'll be able to basically take the paths from a dump file and do a thing with it. Why don't we also grab like the velocity? So what's a pist about? 695? Yeah, I forgot a colon. Alright, I'll be right back while this is compiling. I guess you'll just go to bed. Yeah, it's like 2 in the morning for you, right? Sounds like a perfect time to go to bed. It's even a weekday for you. So, yeah. Oh, school tomorrow. Well, then, yeah. Alright, let's look for... Alright, so failed to find any path files in... Alright, so basically we're going to look through our assets for the path objects. We're going to try to find a path object that we can use. We're going to try to load the path object data from disk. If we don't find it, we're not going to use it. So we need to call our serialization utils and do use struct from JSON object string to use struct is what we need to do. So it's Dashkin serialization utils sub f movement dump file, I believe. Should be a use struct. The f means use struct. We need to pass in our string. So that's going to be our read file as string. And that's going to be our f-string JSON. And we need our out structure. Now we don't need to do that. We can just pass in the address of it, can't we? Alright, so if not, then JSON dump file, JSON path dump file invalid. Otherwise, what we'll need to do is go through and add a whole bunch of objects to our level. Let's see, I think if we're in the editor, there's a bit more stuff we can do to get the actual world, right? So I think we've got that inside of our game instance. Yeah, I think it's just G-engine get world. Get editor world context, get world. Why not? So we'll do our best to grab the actual world. We're going to go through all of our positions. And we are going to call this asset proxy add actor for asset, and we'll pass in our path asset true. We'll need our flags, null pointer, and then the f name. the F name, so we'll just have like a from string or something like that on it. Let's see. From F name to F text, from F string to F name is just new F name. Alright, so we just pass our name in there. So if our path actor is null pointer, we're just going to just say like couldn't make actors. Otherwise, path actor set transform, and then post edit move. True. Why do we need the world? We don't need the world. All right, so we don't need the world or the level. That's fine. No, we need add actor. We already have add actor for asset, so why don't we just comment this out in case I do need to grab the world and the level. Alright. Path actor. What is A actor, Unreal? Let's see. Set transform? Is there like set location? There is no. Alright, so there is just a set actor location. And we'll just pass in the position's position. And then false, null pointer. Yeah, so I think we can just do that. So let me see, which header does this thing exist in? It's in asset selection.h. So I should just be able to include asset selection.h. So that should add everything. Game, test content, path objects. Yeah, we'll see. So we'll just build that up, and I'll have to go make something, slap it in there, and see if it works. I also need to write the thing that actually writes out the file. I honestly think I'll just put it in there. Like, just put it in the player object and just be like, well, if your virtual controller hits... Well, if... Yeah, we'll just wait. I'll assign it to something stupid like the home key or some crap. Too many parameters for text. Yeah, that's true. Can I convert argument 1 from f string to ename? F string to F name. What do we need to do for you? We need to dereference it. Illegal indirection? Yeah. That's because we need to be specific, right? I need to actually use the F string constructor. Alright, yeah, okay. Illegal indirection, yeah, okay. So I need to do it there, I believe. You can't use that on the macro? What are you doing? I know you haven't said anything, Lucas, but I see you lurking, sir. So I think, yeah, I'll put it in the game instance, actually. Something simple with this guy. Let's just go to our public functions static, and let's have a start recording position, and then a stop recording position, and then a write position, write recorded position. So I'll just bind those to some simple keys. Should I make these editor only? That would be the other thing I could do. No, I don't think so. That way I can easily use this stuff from blueprints. The other thing is I can make the contents editor only. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I can ask somebody to send me their position dump file at some point. Uninitialized local variable flags used. Okay, so if we go look at eObject flags, what are they? eObject flags. We'll just have no flags on it. Alright, so if we go to our game instance, we've got these things: start recording positions, stop recording, and write recorded position. We'll also have a float, last position time, bool, recording position. Should I have a U property here for like recorded actor? Yeah, we'll just do something simple. No sense in making it too complicated. Alright, so if we are recording our position, we'll do things. If now is greater than or equal to last position time plus 1.0f, then we will record a position for our actor. So if our M recorded actor is null pointer, we will return. And let's also dump the file. So we'll just write our recorded position. If it went out of scope, it basically means like something happened in the editor and we hit the escape button, but we had started recording. We might as well dump it out. All right, so all right, so we need an F movement position. So position. Starting at position dot position is gonna be this M recorded actor. Get actor location. Yeah, okay. Just had to go look up the function. We'll get the velocity at some other point if we need it. All right, right recorded position. Let's have a bool here for right. So stop recording and bool right equals true. So we're gonna call if right, call right recorded position. Otherwise do the thing. So where is the file? Just gonna be savepaths.json. So if we get our serialization utils, let's turn this into some JSON that we can use. So it's ustruct to JSON string for our movement dump file. And we need to pass in the structure that we have. which is this movement data. And then we've got the output JSON. We're going to make it pretty and standardized case false. Alright, of course, we are going to need our JSON. We'll also need our game instance. And we will need to then we just call write file with our path and our data. So this one is failure to marshal movement data, and the other one would be failing to write the actual JSON file. Alright, let's save that and compile it, and then hook it up inside of the object so I can use it. Jesus Christ. Oh man, the stuff people post on Facebook is always just funny as hell. Like, like one person posted a thing on basically a study that says an all vegan diet actually increases inflammation and might be bad for you. And then they have a picture of a gigantic steak, and it's like, okay, yeah, sure. Shows that, oh man, if you're smoking, that increases your chance of getting in a car accident and dying, or it increases your chances of dying from car accidents. You're like, oh man, I should take up smoking. You're like, no, it's just more more likely to die from something else. Fuck. It's like I remember one time there was at one point, and I think it was like 20 or not 20 years, but like maybe 15 years ago, KFC ran a whole series of ads about how much better for you fried chicken was than other foods, like, you know, a bunch of steak or French fries or some shit. And they're like, oh, you should start your new diet, KFC. And like, you know, this dude like grabs a whole fucking, you know, 10-piece bucket of KFC and goes to town. And it's just, it's like the whole bucket? Like that's that's some diet, man. God damn. Eating a bucket of fried chicken and pretending it's health food. Man, that's next level. Hey, you know how many people die of overexposure to dihydrogen monoxide? That's right, a lot. Hell, there are people who've been known to choke to death on it consistently. That reminds me of the fake bullshit like science stuff that we put together for one of our social studies classes in high school, where what I did was I made a stuffed like crash test dummy person and like put all these clothes on him and then covered him in an emergency blanket and covered him in gasoline and lit him on fire until, so he was like completely until the nothing was left. And it was to sell a fake like nuclear blast emergency blanket. And like according to our tests, the ash pile is 15% bigger in the person who was shrouded in the emergency blanket. It's just, I got a good grade on that report. That was cool. I did a lot of dumb shit like that in high school. Like we made a giant flaming pentagram and drove our friend's car through cones and through all these flames in a big parking lot for a history report on enlightened monarchs in Europe, and that was cool. We got an extra credit for that too. But I think the best part of that was, of course, we were doing this in just like a store parking lot, right? Because if you're gonna go anywhere and set a whole bunch of flames, make sure it's highly visible from a very busy intersection in the middle of a high traffic area. So that's what we did, and so like one dude just like pulled up and was super excited that we were doing this. He's like, "Yeah, how's it going? Oh man, you guys are so cool! I thought a car was on fire. This is amazing." It's like, okay, so what is this trash all pissed about? Unresolved external links for try get bool, try get blah. Okay, so I maybe have. Let me just see if it's this thing here that's getting angry at me. Is that yeah, that's the one we got all on video. We got the friend's cone. One of the cones actually got stuck in the engine of the car because when he ran over it, the cone got stuck under the car and then up in the engine. It was a really shitty car. There's a reason we used his car for everything. Yeah, we got asked to leave that parking lot by a very nervous looking employee, which I mean, we're real nice about it. We're like, "Oh, we can't start giant like 30-foot diameter fires in your parking lot?" I I'm sorry. All right, so we still have linker errors. So, is it the commands then for that? Yeah, I think my parents were just happy I was never arrested. But I mean, we did dumb things, but we were smart about what dumb things we did. You know, there's a difference. I mean, all except for one of them, which it's like when you're loading a catapult, don't fucking stand in front of it. You're gonna get smacked in the face by a giant wooden arm. It's like, oh, let me stand in front of this object I'm loading with a lot of potential energy. I'm sure this is a great place to be right now. Puts face directly in front of catapult arm. Yeah, it'd be a good time to test the release mechanism by taking my hands off of it with nothing to prevent it from smacking me in the face. Why am I bleeding? And that was the time that we learned why there's a frontal ridge on your forehead right above your eye socket, because that bastard really solid and will stop things from fucking up your eyeballs. So remember, if you're ever going to get hit in the face, make sure you take it on not the chin, but the forehead ridge, because that's the thickest part of your skull. Applied anatomy lessons. And it's also amazing how much blood comes out of your forehead. There's a lot of blood going through the skin and the face. So the problem here is this JSON object string to use struct. Is there something wrong with it? Like, we have an address of this guy. We've got our JSON string. So why is our address to our dump file, like, what is going on with this guy that it's all screwed? I mean, that's what it should be, right? I don't understand why we're having trouble with this JSON object to use struct function. It should be just so. Blinds the opponent with their own blood. Yeah, that's what happened. That's exactly what happened to the guy who got hit in the face. He couldn't see, so he thought he was blind. There's something in here where it's looking for stuff inside of the wrong library or some crap. So basically, we can't use a template thing that doesn't already exist or something like that for this deserialization thing. So it's going to be this. There's something here going on with templates, which is fucked up, is what's going on. What's going on is we don't have alright, the template generated code inside of the editor extensions, but the editor extensions aren't including JSON or something like that. Yeah, so we need to change our... Is there any JSON anywhere? Yeah, so we need JSON and JSON utilities added to our builds. This is public dependency names. Inside of our editor plugin is what it looks like. Let's see what it does. Yeah, that's probably like the only time in my life, hopefully, I have to ask somebody to take their hand off their face so I know if their eyes are still there. And of course, the doctors did not believe us when we told them the story of what happened to this guy. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're building a catapult, and yeah, you get hit in the face. Yes, I'm gonna believe that." And of course, we knew about this because my parents are doctors, and my dad found out about this happening before he got off work because he heard from some of the other doctors that some kids were doing some dumb shit and pretended, they came in and somebody blood all over their face and all fucked up, needing stitches, and they're saying they're working on a catapult, and that it was just total crap. And so my dad was like, "Oh man, that's a good story. I wonder who those people were," and comes home and it's like, "Oh, that was us." God damn it, you guys. Or I might have heard that later and I'm embellishing parts of the story, but whatever. I'd rather tell an entertaining story than a completely accurate one. Alright, yeah, so that's what it was. Templates were including references to functions I wasn't including in my static libraries. Alright, so let's boot this up, and we'll be able to go into our player controller, check for the actor stuff inside of a function, and figure out what to do from there. Jesus Christ. Oh man. That whole you read the article that backs that bullshit earlier that you should not be vegan. It was like, well, according to ancient DNA analysis, societies that had low consumption of meat also had a higher correlation to this. It'd be like, all right, that means jack shit. Like, the people didn't have access to meat probably for some other reason. So, did you know that correlation does not equal causation? No, I didn't. Right. Here, smoke these cigarettes. Alright, let's see. All right, let's make a function here, which is do record positions. Let's do a, if we are locally owned, we will do the thing. All right, so I want to do key is triggered. Yeah, exactly. Why do I need to add these to the class? I don't. I can add these as local variables. All right, it's this guy. We're gonna make it the home key to start and the end key to stop. So stop recording key. Paint artist, welcome, sir. I am working on some level stuff, and one of the things we found very quickly was that I need something in here that I can record some player positions and then kind of save those positions and then maybe spawn some actors where they are. So I can get some guidelines of where I need to place the collectibles so I can run through a level, record it, and then kind of look at its playback and then place stuff along the path that I want. As opposed to what I have been doing, which is just moving stuff around like a moron. I also need to make a test content blueprint object thing. What do we call it? Just test content path objects, and then just make something in there. Let's make a path object. So if I put a path object in here, what should it look like? We wanted it to look like something real dumb. I've even got a special texture for it. Let's make a new material for this.